Please don't skip the advertisement for me. Your full commotion watchings motivates me to continue this series. Thank you. Hello, it is your Korean teacher, Dexter. This Unit 7, Welfare, 복지, will deals with the general welfare system and social supporting services to the immigrants in South Korea. It is not only important in your life, but also it is easy and clear to make the question items. So it is super important unit. So South Korea's welfare systems are divided by social insurance and public aids. Have you ever heard about 4대 보험, which is for major and compulsory you should get in the working places? How about the public aids? It usually helps the difficult people economically. What about supporting services for foreigners, for immigrants? At least we create secure minimal life for one's survivals. So let's explore the welfare system in the South Korea. I'm not sure about the North Korea, so are you ready? Let's start it. So let's start to deal with the Unit 7, Welfare. This unit deals with the two parts, one for the welfare system and two for the multicultural family and foreigners or immigrant for their supporting services. So as a personal opinion, I don't want to use the foreigner a lot because the immigrants, some of are part of the Korean society. So I don't want to say foreigner a lot, but official language in the South Korea, they say 외국인. That is, the translation is foreigners, but rather than foreigner, I want to say immigrant or international student or international worker, something like that. Because foreigners, but some of foreigners are already Korean. Their nationality is Korean, but they are not foreigner, they are domestic, but still Korean prefer to use the foreigner. So here I also use foreigners, so yeah, please forgive my country. Or am I too much sensitive about it? So anyway, two ways. One for the social welfare, two for the supporting services. So let's deal with the social welfare services at first. So this keyword, social welfare service systems in the South Korea. The first, here 4대 보험, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4대, 4 major insurances. So if you are working or if you are employee, some workers, you should. Maybe there is some minor exceptional rule, but the major rule is you should get the 4 insurances. So to prepare the future danger or uncertainty, there is social insurance like 건강 is your health insurance and 고용 is employee or work. 국민연금. So 국민 is a civilian, 연금 is a pension. So maybe after retirement or after certain age, there need to be pension. And 산업재해 is industrial accidents, which are recommended to register by law. So you have to take that for insurance. And second one, 공공부조 is a public assistance or public aid. Is helping system which secure 기본적인 생활 수준. 기본 is a basic or minimal to the 저소득층. 고 is high like a 고등학교, high school. 저 is low, so 저소득. 소득 is your income, so low income class. From the government or local organization in the field of 생활비 is the general living cost, educational cost, medical cost, and so on. So public aid help to the low income classes. And the third one, 긴급복지. 긴급 is emergent, so emergent welfare helping system is supporting system to the low income families in case when they face sudden difficulty like a sudden accident and cannot maintain their life. If there is a sudden big accident and people cannot maintain their once minimal life, there is emergent welfare systems. Okay, next up is supporting services to the immigrant, or in here it's like foreigners and multicultural families. So foreigners who stay in Korea can get the support about the minimal life maintained or medical cost and emergent welfare. The conditions are, the first thing is married to a Korean civilian. The first thing is married to the Korean, and the 국적 is nationality. So carrying parents or kids whose nationality is Korean. And the third condition is get the refugee status by law or etc. So if you are a refugee, yeah, at least you could get a supporting services. And second one is there are free classes for Koreans and its culture, like this KIIP, pregnant and delivery supporting services, consultant to the foreigners for their etiquette, adjusting and living independently in the South Korea. Yeah. And the third one, supporting or helping multicultural family and foreigners organizations are 외국인 종합 안내센터. 종합 is general, so general information center, or 다누리 call center, 다문화 가족 지원 센터. And 외국인 근로자 is laborer, is worker 지원 센터, etc. 등이 있다. So those are the key points. Again, easy to make a question item. So at least the noun you should remember for the test matters. If you understand all the vocabulary and sentences, it's enough. But if you have some difficulty in understanding those Korean sentences, let's start with me step by step, more details. So again, this unit deals with the two things, one for the social welfare, two for the supporting services for immigrant and foreigners. So for the social welfare system, 한국에서는 국민, the citizens, civilians, 최소한의 인간다운, human-like, humanity or human-like life를 누릴 수 있도록, 누리다 is like can take at least a human-like life. So Korean government secure, guarantee all the civilians human-like life. It is like a minimal life standard, something like that. So 다양한 various 사회복지 제도를 마련해 두고 있다. So the government prepare or arrange to the social welfare systems. So 한국의 사회복지제도, the social welfare system, broadly or generally 사회보험, social insurance, and 공공부조, public aid. So 사회보험, social insurance is future dangers to prepare the future dangers. So by law, so it is you have to, obligatory, compulsory. 따라 국민들이 register, join 하고 있는 제도이다. Here 건강보험, 고용보험, 국민연금, 산업재해 보상이 있다. So here 1, 2, 3, 4. So health insurance is when you are sick and go to hospital, the part of the medical cost you could be support. Sorry, it's not a support, it is support. SU. Sorry about that. And the second one, 고용보험. 고용하다 is so employee or work. So 회사에서 해고, when you get fired, 해고되었을 때 for the certain period there is money. 금전적 지원을 받을 수 있다. So if you got fired by the company, regardless your intention, you could get some money. You could get some help from the 고용보험. And the third one, 국민연금. So 나이가 들어, when you're getting old, 더 이상, no more, you can earn the money. 매달, every month, amount of money, certain amount of money as for your living cost you could get. That is the 국민연금. And the last one, 산업재해 보상보험. So 산업 is industry or just is a work. So 재해 is accident. So work accident compensate. So my translation is industrial or work accident compensate. So 회사에서 일하다가 while you are working in the company 사고로 다쳤을 때 you get hurt 병원비, hospital, medical cost 등. So not only medical cost, but also like if you commute to the hospital, something like that, 피해, damage에 대해 compensate, 보상을 받을 수 있다. Those are the 4대 보험, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is the key point of this lesson. So at least you should remember those 4. So 1 is 건강보험, 2 is 고용보험, and 3 is 국민연금, and 4 is 산업재해. And let's move on to public aids. So public assistance, so how the Korean government help to the usually the difficult, economically difficult classes. 공공 is public, 부조. 조 is 조력, is help. So how could we help by the public? 공공부조는 생활이 어려운 사람들이 to the people who have some difficulty in living의 기본적인 basic minimal 생활 수준 living standard를 보장해주기 위해 the country or local government에서 like living cost, educational cost, medical cost, etc. 등을 support 해주는 policy이다. So 소득이 최저 생계비보다 적은 저소득층. So 저 is low, 고 is high. 고소득 is someone who are rich, and 저소득 is someone who are low income, poor. 저소득층은 국민, civilian, 기초 living security 제도. There is a policy to secure one's basic living standard. 통해 there is living cost supporting, usually by money or the voucher. And in case if there is a sudden accident, like 갑작스럽게 어려운 일을 당해, if you are victimized the sudden accident, 생계 유지가 곤란한, and then if you are difficult to maintain the minimal life, 저소득층 가구를 지원하는 긴급 is urgent or emergent welfare supporting systems가 있다. 예를 들어, for example, 주로 벌어오는 사람, so main income, main earner in the family 이 크게 big hurt 다치거나 큰 병 disease를 suffer 되어 일을 할 수 없게 된 경우. So main income person get a sudden hurt, so no longer to get some money for one's family, or the fire 등으로 인해 살고 있던 집이나 건물에서 생활하기 어려운 경우. So if there is a sudden fire, so it is difficult to stay in once your house 발생하면 and happen when occur 지방자치단체, local government의 related department나 보건복지부 is the Ministry of Health and Welfare call center로 전화하여 you could get help. So, okay, the key point is the public aid and the urgent welfare systems. So here is good to know section. So is there any way to bring help in a disaster situation such as typhoon or earthquake or contagious disease like COVID, something like that? So there is 한시적, is temporal, not the long time, but short period. It is temporal. So there are temporal disaster helping money by government or local government in the disaster situation like a typhoon, earthquake, and so on. And for example, as a representative example in Korea, was 2020, the spread of COVID-19. Yeah, as the epidemic spread, a disaster helping money was distributed or provided for the purpose of helping victims and activating economy. So based on your place, there is the name would be some different, but there is something helping money or helping vouchers for the victim of COVID-19. And 정부의 긴급재난지원금. So the governmental urgent disaster helping money was given by cash to the weak, vulnerable or fragile family, like minimal life supporters. So to that low income family, without certain applying procedure, you could get by cash if you are in the low income family. But how about the others? Because among the Korean, there is a big debate. So whether giving cash directly to them would be helpful or not. Some people say if the government give cash, they save it, they don't use it, so it is meaningless to activate economy. But on the other say, to the poor people, we should get the cash to that. So I don't know which one is the correct one. So there is also big debate, but we agree that to the low income family, we should directly help to the cash. But is it helpful? I'm not sure about it. So I don't want to talk about the politics here. So anyway, the low-income family, the cash directly, and 나머지 가구, the other families who are not in the low-income families. So the others was given by card points or consuming coupon or locally used gift card after certain applying procedures. So if you are low-income family, the local government directly give it to you cash without any certain procedures. But if you are just a normal family, you have to apply for that, and there could be some like a Busan that gives some locally usable voucher card, something like that, or card point, which can only use in the Busan. So like a Dongbaekjeon or something like that, I can use it only in the Busan. So if I go to KIIP or Seoul, I cannot use it. What do you think about it? Because I am, as a native Korean, the Korea is my mother country, also my father country anyway, so there's no difficulty. But what do you think about it? Are the Korean government support well of like you, immigrant, help supporting well in the disastrous situation like a COVID-19? What do you think about it? And if you have any idea, just write a comment in my video. Thank you in advance. Next up is supporting services to the multicultural family and foreigners. So first step, we deal with the services for foreigners or immigrant or international civilian, something like that. 사회복지제도 중 공공부조, public aid, 원칙적으로, basically or in principle, public aid only for Korean civilian, Korean citizen. Yeah, that is a public aid, not only Korea, all over the world it is same. So in principle, apply only to Korean citizen. But however, 한국에 살고 있는 외국인 중 among foreigners who are living in Korea, so condition would be first is marry Korean. And second thing is carrying Korean nationality, parents or kids. Or the third one is recognized as a refugee by law or etc. Can get an aid in minimal life cost or medical cost, emergent welfare, etc. when the income is lower than the minimal life cost. So there is a standard of minimal life cost, but if your income, if your family's incomes are lower than the standard, and if you satisfy the condition like Korean nationality, marriage, or the carrying the parents or kids, or recognized as refugee, something like that, you could get support. 이 외에도 not only this one, 한국 생활에 잘 적응하고 한국에서 주체적으로 살아갈 수 있도록. Yeah, that is my purpose of making this video. I hope, this is English version, but I know that your test, you should speak Korean. So this, by helping of my video, I hope you could 주체적으로 살아갈 수 있도록. I hope you could live in life independently without my help. So some of you already, you could live it independently, and some of us need still some help. So that is my tiny purpose of this video. I hope you could live it. If you are immigrant, naturalized as Korean, fighting in your life in South Korea. So 살아갈 수 있도록 무료로. So there are free Korean and Korean cultures classes program which help the foreigners to adapting well and live independently in the South Korea. And the 임신 or woman, married immigrant, or who are pregnant or going to delivery could get the medical health support for newborns and whole self. So 신생아의 신생아 is 신 is new, 생 is a born. 신생아 is a newborn baby, like an infant. So not only for infant, but also the mother who delivered the baby could get some medical support. So here, yeah, it is important. So in principle, the public aid is only for Korean, but exceptional rules, exceptional condition is 1, 2, 3, 4. So here, and there is this easy one for the level 5, 한국어, 한국문화. It's super easy. So let's move on to the second one. Is organization for the foreigners and immigrants or multicultural families. So 다문화 가족 multicultural families and foreigner 지원하는 기관 organization으로는 Ministry of Law의 외국인 종합 안내센터 General Information Center 여성가족부. So it is the Ministry of Women and Family, or the official name is Ministry of Gender Equality and Family의 다누리 Call Center. So here 다누리 is a funny vocabulary. 다누리. It said 다누리는 다문화, multicultural, 다문화를 상징하는 다와 홈페이지. So 홈페이지, by only pure Korean, we say 누리집, 누리집. So 홈페이지, home is 집. So the national language, because in Korea we distinguish the 한국어 is Korean, 국어 is the national language. So national language list, someone who support for the national language, they say 우리말 누리집의 누리의 조합으로 다문화 가족 모두가 누리다. So if I make the question item of high level, I want to ask about the 다누리가 무엇이에요? I want to ask about that because it is in the textbook. So it is not easy one, but it is in the textbook. So if I'm going to make a question item of high level, like a difficult question, first thing I want to ask about what is 다누리? 다누리 means. So anyway, 다누리 call center, 지원 센터, and 고용노동부, Ministry of Employment and Labor의 외국인 근로자 지원 센터. There is foreign labor, foreign worker supporting centers가 있다. So here is 다누리. And another thing is 외국인 종합 안내센터 1345. Yeah, there is like a foreigner general information center는 신분증 is your ID card related work or stay visa, stay and permit 관련 업무 and nationality 관련 업무 등 한국에 거주하는 외국인. So foreigners dwell, living, stay in the Korea의 출입국. So 출국 is departure. 입국 is entry. So 출입국 is departure, entry, country. Departure, enter country의 행정민원 is administrational affair, 상담, counsel and information을 multi-language로 supporting 한다. So here, so I translate some difficult word by English. So watch it. And 다누리 call center, multicultural call center는 국내에 거주하는 다문화 가족. So multicultural family stay in the domestic, in the South Korea, or 이주 여성, immigrant. 여성 is woman, so immigrant woman에게 필요한 한국 생활 정보, information about general life in Korea 를 제공하고 위기 상담, 위기 is crisis, 위기 상담, crisis counsel, or 긴급 지원, urgent support 등 전문 상담원. There is a counselor, expert counselor, it's a specific, specialized counselor과 자국 언어로 통화. 자국, 자 is a son or native country. So even if you naturalize, I think if you naturalize, you are Korean, but your 자국 is before naturalized. So even if I naturalize to the American, my 자국 or my 모국 is Korea or just the immigrant. Even if I'm not naturalized, in that case, 자국 is the born country. So 자국 is native country language로 통화할 수 있도록 지원한다. And 다문화 가족 지원 센터, multicultural family supporting center는 다문화 가족의 한국 사회 적응하다 is adapting을 돕는 교육, 자녀 언어, 자녀 is a kids, kids language의 발달 지원, supporting develop, so helping develop of kids language. It's usually Korean, yeah. 서비스 등을 제공한다. 외국인 근로자, worker, laborer의 지원센터는 외국인 근로자들을 대상으로 to the foreign worker, 한국어 교육을 실시하고 Korean education and 외국인 근로자의 right, 권익 보호, so protecting one's right as a worker를 지원한다. Yeah, so 권익 보호. It is also important vocabulary you have to know for the test. 권익 보호, 권익 보호. So 외국인 노동자의 or 외국인 근로자의 권익 보호. Those are the key phrases. Yeah, it is not easy vocabulary, but yeah, your test is you are want to being a permanent state or naturalized as Korean. So it is important to know. So here the keyword is 외국인, 외국인. I don't like that vocabulary 외국인, but yeah, I think I'm too much sensitive. Just 외국인, foreigner is foreigner. Okay. So here 법률 is law. So is there any way to make a legal law counsel by one's mother tongue's language? So 자신의 고향 나라, 고향 is your hometown 언어. So your mother tongue 법률 상담, so counsel of law or legal counsel. legal counsel는 방법은 so 제외, 제 is stay, 외 is 외국. So staying abroad. So staying outside, not in Korea. 동포 is a country person. 동 is the same, so same country person, but living in outside is 제외 동포. So here 제외 means usually was born in the outside, not in the Korea, but still Korean or Korean related. So 회사에 다니며 the company. 나이가 많은 whole 어머니, whole is alone, single 어머니를 모시고 caring 있다. A is like it's maybe Korean, but the nationality is not Korean. So it's equal to 외국인. So 수개월간 500만 원의 임금 wage was delayed. 사장으로부터 돈을 받지 못해 cannot get a wage from the boss. A씨는 생활에 living difficulty, suffering from the living difficulty because the boss not giving or delay the wage. 중 외국인 종합 안전센터, Foreigner Information Center가 제공하는 마을 변호사. So 변호사 is a lawyer, 마을 is village, so village lawyer. By the Foreign Information Center, 외국인 간 무료 통역. 통역 is translation, so free translation 서비스를 통해 법률, legal counsel을 받았다. 그 결과 그동안 밀린 delayed 임금을 모두 받을 수 있었다. So thanks to the legal counsel of the village lawyer, the person A, the 제외 동포. So it's a foreign nationality would be foreign but relating to Korean, something like that. So the person A could get the delayed wage. So this is 1345 is 외국인 종합 안내센터는 법무부 Ministry of Law가 appointed 지정한 변호사 lawyer가 상담사의 통역 지원을 받아. So there is a translation service to the lawyer. So 언어 장벽. So 언어 is language, 장 is long, 벽 is word. So like a long word, big word, it means difficulty. So 언어 장벽, it is also important vocabulary. Like what was your difficulty in Korea? So like the novice level 1 say, 나 힘들어요, 몰라요, something like that. But you are level 5 and want to be in a permanent stay visa in South Korea. So at least you have to say, 저는 언어 장벽이 있어서 힘들었습니다. Something like that. So it is super important and luxurious, high level vocabulary. The interviewer want to hear. So if you use that 언어 장벽, your language would be perfect. 과 정보 부족. 부족 is shortage. So this sentence 언어 장벽과 정보 부족으로 힘들었어요. So what was your difficulty? So the question is what was your difficulty in South Korea? So like 블라블라 힘들어요, 블라블라 몰라요. No. It's a level 1 and 2. So if you are level 5, you need to say My difficulty caused by 언어 장벽과 정보 부족으로 한국 생활에 적응하기 힘들었어요. Perfect sentence. So 법률 서비스. So 법률 is legal service를 이용하기 어려운 외국인에게 법률 상담. So there is a legal counsel to the foreigners. So number is 1345. 1345. So those things, so if you have sufficient time, I hope at least those sentences you have to remember when you express your difficulty. So even if you don't have any difficulty, but it is better to say. If you say like this one, it's a perfect sentence. So this one is good for express your difficulty adjusting in the South Korea society. So last part is cultural note is Nepal 출신. So 출신 is comes from. So I is 한국 출신, or you could be a 중국 출신, 미국 출신, 베트남 출신, 일본 출신, whatever. 출신 is come from. 1호. 1 is the first. So Nepal 출신 is comes from Nepal. The first doctor's 꿈 is dream. The doctor's dream who's come from the Nepal. The first comes from Nepal. Being a doctor in South Korea, maybe. So Nepal 출신 comes from Nepal. 한국인 1호 의사인 정재한 씨는 maybe 정재한 is come from the Nepal or naturalized as Korean. 가족 외에도 not only family, outside of family 챙겨야 하는 not only family, there is more caring 할 수많은 brother가 있다. There is more brother, not only family, there is more brother to caring. 바로 국내에 체류 중인 이주 노동자. So 이주 is immigrant, 노동자 is worker. So this man, 한국말이 서툴러. 서툴러 is poor, not good at it. So 한국말이 서투르다. So 한국말 잘 못해. 한국말 잘 몰라요. It is level 1. So 한국말이 서툴러서. 저는 아직 한국말이 서툴러서 한국말을 잘 못해요. So 서툴러 is high level language. 한국말이 서툴러 자신의 의견, opinion을 제대로, exactly 표현하지 못하는 이주 노동자들을 돕기 위해 various effort를 기울이고 있다. 기울이고 있다 is focus more on it. Just effort, try, but 기울이고 있다. 한국어 공부에 더 노력을 기울이고 있다. It's a bad sentence. So, 한국어 공부 열심히 해요. It is level 3, but 한국어 공부에 더 노력을 기울이고 있습니다. It's a level 5 language. So this man, 대구 지역 법사랑. So 대구 is the city. 대구 법사랑. So 사랑 is love. It's usually the community who loves the law. So law or legal lovers. So legal related community. 외국인 위원 커미티이 되어 이주민의 목소리. So 이주민 So 이주 so living come from other countries. So immigrant 이주민의 목소리 voice or opinion을 대신 전해 instead deliver 주기도 한다. 또한 동료, colleague doctors과 함께 모바일 커뮤니티를 launched, 오픈, 열어 한국에서 어려움을 겪는 suffering difficulty in the South Korea, 네팔과 이주 노동자들을 돕고 있다. Helping the person who's suffering in the South Korea. So 출처의 source is from here. So like here, oneself. So talk about your story in South Korea when you've been supported by welfare system or the person or organization could help you. So this one could be just a perfect question item. So when you answer this one, rather than talking about your just too much personal information, I'd like to recommend use the textbook information. That is better for the test matter. So yeah, this one is I want to ask about if I make the question items. So that's all for this unit. I hope you enjoyed this lesson and let's meet on next class. And if you have any questions, feel free to write the comments. So see you in the next class. Bye bye.